tracks to collector garages, Jaguar has built some of the rarest and most extraordinary cars the world has ever seen. In this video, we're diving deep into the top 10 rarest Jaguars ever created. Machines that blend speed, beauty, and legendary history. From the carbon fiber supercar that shocked the 90s, to Le Mans champions that rewrote racing history, and even the one-off prototypes worth millions, each car on this list tells a story of ambition, innovation, and exclusivity. Whether born from motorsport glory, factory tragedies, or futuristic concepts that never reached production, these Jaguars represent the pinnacle of rarity. Stay tuned as we count down from the extraordinary to the nearly mythical. In the number 10 position, we have the Jaguar XJR-15, a machine that feels more like a spaceship than a car. Born in 1991, this rare supercar was ahead of its time, being the first road-going car built entirely out of carbon fiber. That's right. While other brands were still experimenting, Jaguar leaped into the future. And here's the kicker. Only 53 units were ever produced worldwide. The XJR-15 wasn't just about looks. Under its sleek body sat a 6.0-liter V12 engine, pushing out nearly 450 horsepower. That meant it could rocket from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 4 seconds. Mind-blowing for the early 90s. But the real secret was how light it was. Thanks to its carbon fiber body, it moved like a wildcat, sharp, agile, and unforgiving if you weren't a skilled driver. Jaguar didn't design the XJR-15 to be a comfortable cruiser. It was loud, raw, and laser-focused on performance. It had racing in its DNA, since it was directly based on Jaguar's Le Mans-winning XJR-9. In fact, the XJR-15 even had its own one-make racing series where wealthy owners would battle it out on world-famous circuits. Imagine buying a car and then immediately being thrown into gladiator-style races with it. That was the world of the XJR-15. Today, finding one is almost impossible. When they do show up at auctions, they sell for millions, making it one of the most prized Jaguars for collectors. The XJR-15 may have been overshadowed later by the XJ220, but make no mistake. It set the stage for Jaguar's boldest experiments in supercar engineering. It wasn't just rare, it was revolutionary. In the number 9 position, we have the Jaguar XKSS, a car born out of racing glory and sheer circumstance. Introduced in 1957, this stunning machine was essentially a Jaguar D-type race car that had been tamed, just barely, for the streets. Jaguar decided to convert its leftover D-type chassis into road-legal versions after pulling out of motorsport, creating something both wild and elegant. But fate had other plans. Originally, 25 units of the XKSS were scheduled for production. Then, disaster struck. A devastating fire at Jaguar's Browns Lane factory destroyed 9 of them, leaving only 16 surviving cars. That accident instantly made the XKSS one of the rarest Jaguars ever. But rarity is only part of the story. Underneath its sleek flowing lines sat a 3.4-liter straight-six engine pumping out around 250 horsepower, numbers that were ferocious for the 1950s. The XKSS could sprint from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just over 5 seconds and hit speeds above 150 miles per hour, making it one of the fastest road cars of its era. And unlike pure racers, it came with a passenger seat, windscreen, and even a small luggage rack. It was Jaguar's way of saying, you can have race car performance without giving up Sunday drives. One of the most famous owners was none other than Hollywood legend Steve McQueen, who nicknamed his XKSS the Green Rat. His love for the car helped cement its cult status, making it as much a movie star as a motorsport icon. Today, the XKSS stands as a bridge between Jaguar's racing heritage and its road-going future. With just a handful ever made, it's a jewel in the crown of automotive history, representing speed, beauty, and the cruel twist of fate that made it almost mythical. In the number 8 position, we have the Jaguar XJ220S TWR, a car so rare that most people have only ever seen it in photographs. Built in 1993 by Tom Walkinshaw Racing, Jaguar's legendary motorsport partner, this was no ordinary XJ220. The already outrageous supercar was stripped down, lightened, and given a harder, angrier edge, transforming it into a track weapon with a license plate. While the standard XJ220 was famous for once being the world's fastest production car, the XJ220S turned everything up a notch. Its 3.5-liter twin-turbocharged V6 was tuned to nearly 700 horsepower, a colossal figure for the early 90s. That kind of power launched it from 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 3.3 seconds, a number that still holds its own against today's hypercars. And with its massive rear wing, aggressive aero kit, and lightweight carbon fiber body panels, it looked every bit the part. But here's where it gets interesting. Jaguar and TWR only built 6 units. That's right, just 6 cars exist in the entire world, making it one of the rarest Jaguars to ever leave the factory. Owning one isn't just about having a rare Jaguar. It's about possessing a piece of racing engineering distilled into road-going form. The XJ220S wasn't designed for comfort or casual cruising. Inside, it was stripped bare, built purely for performance. It demanded skill, courage, and precision, qualities not every driver could deliver. Today, whenever an XJ220S surfaces at auction, collectors fight fiercely for it. Its combination of rarity, speed, and racing DNA has cemented its place as one of Jaguar's most mythical creations. The XJ220 may have grabbed headlines, but the XJ220S TWR is the version that true enthusiasts whisper about. In the number 7 position, we have the Jaguar Project 7, a modern masterpiece that blends Jaguar's racing heritage with 21st-century engineering. Released in 2014, this was no ordinary sports car. It was a tribute to Jaguar's 7 Le Mans victories, and its design echoed the legendary D-Type with its distinctive rear fairing and low-slung profile. Only 250 units were ever hand-built, making it an instant collectible the moment it rolled off the line. Beneath the hood sat a monstrous 5.0-liter supercharged V8, roaring out 575 horsepower. That power launched the Project 7 from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 3.8 seconds, with a top speed north of 185 miles per hour. But beyond the numbers, the sound alone, deep, raw, and thunderous, was enough to make enthusiasts fall in love. Unlike many limited edition cars that end up hidden away in garages, the Project 7 was built to be driven. It had track-ready handling, sharp steering, and carbon ceramic brakes, yet it was still road legal. Jaguar even gave it convertible styling, turning every drive into an open-air celebration of speed. What makes the Project 7 truly special is its dual identity. On one hand, it's a celebration of Jaguar's racing past, carrying design DNA from the D-Type. On the other, it's a modern icon, proving Jaguar could still produce something bold, beautiful, and exclusive in an era dominated by tech-heavy supercars. Today, Project 7 models rarely come up for sale, and when they do, collectors pay staggering sums to secure one. With its rarity, heritage, and sheer driving thrill, the Project 7 isn't just a Jaguar, it's a rolling piece of history that connects the golden age of racing to the modern era. In the number 6 position, we have the Jaguar XJR-9 LM, a race car that didn't just compete, it conquered. Introduced in 1988, this sleek endurance prototype carried Jaguar back to the very top of motorsport by winning the 24 Hours of Le Mans, one of the toughest races on the planet. For fans, that victory wasn't just about speed. It was about reclaiming Jaguar's racing pride after decades away from the winner's circle. The XJR-9 LM was powered by a monstrous 7.0-liter V12 engine, delivering around 750 horsepower. That engine didn't just roar, it screamed. shaking grandstands as it blasted down the Mulsanne Straight at over 240 miles per hour. With its low-slung body and cutting-edge aerodynamics, it was built for one purpose: endurance domination, and it delivered. Jaguar snatched victory from Porsche, who had been untouchable for years, marking a legendary comeback. What makes the XJR-9 LM so rare is that only a handful of chassis were ever built, strictly for racing. These weren't cars you could stroll into a showroom and buy. They were purebred machines, engineered by Tom Walkinshaw, racing with one goal: to bring Jaguar back to motorsport glory. Today, the surviving XJR-9s are priceless. They're not just cars, they're living history. Seeing one run at a vintage event is like watching a lion released back into the wild: ferocious, commanding, unforgettable. For Jaguar, the XJR-9 LM wasn't just a victory lap. It reminded the world that Jaguar wasn't only about elegance and style. It was about raw racing power too. And for that reason, the XJR-9 LM remains one of the most celebrated and rarest machines to ever wear the Leaping Cat badge. In the number 5 position, we have the Jaguar CX-75, a car that looked like it came straight out of a sci-fi movie, and in many ways, it did. First revealed in 2010, this futuristic machine was supposed to be Jaguar's answer to the hypercar revolution. It combined jaw-dropping beauty with cutting-edge hybrid technology, aiming to challenge the likes of Ferrari and Porsche. But here's the twist. Despite all the hype, the CX-75 never made it to full production. Only 5 prototypes were ever built, making it one of the rarest Jaguars in existence. And what prototypes they were! The CX-75 packed a 1.6-liter turbo and supercharged 4-cylinder engine paired with electric motors, delivering a combined output of over 850 horsepower. That power figure allowed it to sprint from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 3 seconds and hit a top speed of 220 miles per hour. For context, that's Bugatti territory, but with a smaller, more efficient engine and futuristic hybrid tech. Its design was just as radical. Smooth, sculpted lines gave it a stance that was both elegant and aggressive, instantly marking it as one of the most beautiful Jaguars ever conceived. It looked like the future, and for a moment, it felt like Jaguar was about to rewrite the rules of the supercar game. Even though the project was canceled in 2012 due to economic conditions, the CX-75 found new life on the big screen. It starred in the James Bond film Spectre, where it battled against Aston Martin's DB10 in one of the franchise's most thrilling chase scenes. Today, the few existing CX-75s are priceless pieces of Jaguar's history. They represent not just what Jaguar built, but what it could have built. A reminder that sometimes the rarest treasures are the ones that never truly made it. In the number 4 position, we have the Jaguar XJ13, a car so rare that only one exists in the entire world. Built in 1966, it was Jaguar's secret weapon, an experimental prototype designed to compete at Le Mans. With its sleek mid-engine layout and sculpted aluminum body, it looked like something from the future. And under the hood, a ferocious 5.0-liter V12 engine, capable of pushing the car to over 170 miles per hour, numbers that were mind-blowing for its era. But here's where the story takes a dramatic turn. Despite its brilliance, the XJ13 never got its chance to shine on the racetrack. By the time it was ready, racing regulations had changed, leaving it without a category to compete in. For years, the car sat quietly in storage, almost forgotten. Then tragedy struck. In 1971, during a promotional filming run, the sole XJ13 suffered a terrifying crash at high speed. The car was nearly destroyed, twisted, and mangled. Luckily, the driver survived, but the XJ13's future looked grim. Jaguar, however, chose not to let history end that way. The prototype was painstakingly rebuilt, restored to its former glory. Today, it resides in Jaguar's private collection, wheeled out only for special events, where fans get to witness its beauty and hear the spine-tingling roar of that V12. The XJ13 isn't just rare, it's mythical. It represents what could have been, a glimpse into Jaguar's bold vision of racing dominance. Every time it appears, it reminds enthusiasts that sometimes the most valuable cars aren't the ones that won trophies, but the ones that carried untold potential. For collectors and fans alike, the XJ13 is not just a Jaguar, it's a legend frozen in time. In the number 3 position, we have the Jaguar Lightweight E-Type, a car that took one of the most beautiful sports cars ever made and turned it into a purebred racer. Originally introduced in 1963, Jaguar built this rare variant to take the fight to Ferrari and Porsche on the track. The standard E-Type was already a legend for its looks and performance, but the lightweight was something else entirely. Only 12 original cars were built, each featuring an aluminum body that shaved off nearly 250 pounds compared to the regular E-Type. Lighter meant faster, and with its 3.8-liter straight-six engine tuned for racing, the lightweight could unleash over 340 horsepower, a serious punch in the early 60s. On the track, it was nimble, aggressive, and far more capable than its road-going siblings. The lightweight E-Type wasn't built for comfort. Forget leather interiors and fancy trim. This was all business. Racing seats, stripped-out panels, and raw performance made it clear Jaguar wasn't playing around. These cars went head-to-head in some of the fiercest competitions of the time, carrying the spirit of British engineering into global motorsport. What makes the story even more fascinating is that Jaguar had originally planned to build 18 units. Decades later, in 2014, they completed the final 6 using the exact same methods and chassis numbers left unused since the 60s. These continuation models sold instantly, proving that even half a century later, the lightweight still had the power to capture hearts. Today, whether original or continuation, the lightweight E-Type is one of the most sought-after Jaguars ever. It represents the perfect blend of beauty and brutality, an elegant design sharpened into a racing weapon. For collectors, owning one is like holding a piece of Jaguar's soul. In the number 2 position, we have the Jaguar D-Type, a car that defined endurance racing in the 1950s. Launched in 1954, it wasn't just built for speed. It was built to dominate, and dominate it did. With its revolutionary aerodynamic body and iconic vertical fin behind the driver's seat, the D-Type looked like nothing else on the road or track, and it backed up its looks with unmatched performance. Under its lightweight monocoque body sat a 3.4-liter straight-six engine, later enlarged to 3.8 liters, producing up to 300 horsepower. That may not sound like much by today's standards, but in the 50s, it was a powerhouse. The D-Type could reach speeds over 170 miles per hour, making it one of the fastest race cars of its era. What truly sets the D-Type apart is its legacy. Jaguar won the 24 Hours of Le Mans 3 times in a row, 1955, 1956, and 1957, cementing its place in motorsport history. Those victories weren't just about speed. They proved Jaguar's mastery of endurance, aerodynamics, and reliability. The 1957 win was especially historic, as D-Types took 5 of the top 6 positions, a feat almost unheard of in racing. Only 75 examples were ever produced, including both factory race cars and customer versions. Each one is now worth a fortune, with some selling for over $20 million at auction. Their rarity, combined with their racing pedigree, makes them the crown jewels of Jaguar's heritage. The D-Type isn't just a rare car, it's a symbol of Jaguar's golden era. It showed the world that a British marque could take on giants like Ferrari and Mercedes and win. For enthusiasts, it remains one of the most iconic racing machines ever built. In the number 1 position, we have the Jaguar SS100, the car that truly gave birth to Jaguar's legend. Produced between 1936 and 1940, it was the very first car to officially carry the Jaguar name, setting the stage for everything the company would become. With its long, sweeping fenders, upright grille, and exposed headlights, the SS100 was the perfect blend of elegance and aggression. A pre-war beauty with the heart of a sports car. Power came from a 2.5-liter or 3.5-liter straight-six engine, delivering up to 125 horsepower, which was impressive for its time. That performance allowed the SS100 to hit nearly 100 miles per hour, a staggering achievement in the 1930s. In fact, the name SS100 came directly from its ability to reach that magic 100 miles per hour mark, making it one of the fastest road cars of its day. But what makes the SS100 so rare is how few were built. Fewer than 320 examples ever left the factory, and surviving cars today are considered priceless treasures. Each one is a rolling piece of history, representing not just a car, but the birth of Jaguar as a brand. The SS100 wasn't just admired for its speed, it was also a favorite in motorsport, competing in rallies and hill climbs across Europe. It proved that Jaguar wasn't simply about style. It could hold its own in competition too. Today, the SS100 stands as one of the most valuable pre-war British sports cars, often commanding millions at auctions. More than just rare, it represents the spark that lit the flame of Jaguar's future. Without the SS100, there would be no E-Type, no D-Type, and no racing glory. This car is where Jaguar's story truly began, and that's why it sits at the very top of our list.